All right, it's a Symbiote Friday here at Comics. We're talking about Venom and Carnage, brand new series. Absolute Carnage came out on Wednesday by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. Pretty okay. A solid okay comic book. I really not much to say about that. I want to talk about Venom in general, though.
Right, and so you're making your own. Right now we see you coloring in Titaness, who is your original content.
Exactly right. She's my original creation, Titaness the Moonsnatcher, or Titaness Moonsnatcher. Looks like here she's been somehow captured by Venom in his literal Toadies. You notice those little frogs down there in the corner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I call them the Toadies.
Okay.
Cute.
Yeah.
But, you know, Venom is a super popular character. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because anybody could be the next Venom. And so, like, who doesn't want to, like, have this super powerful friend that you can kind of control and, like, team up with?
Oh,
right?
Does he control the friend or does the friend control him?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. I actually, you know, I read Venom comics, like, back in the 90s when I was a kid. And I didn't have his first appearances. That was a little before my time. But I had some of the appearances in Amazing Spider-Man, like 375, sorry. And some of the other early 90s comics like Venom Lethal Protector. But I was never a super big Venom fanboy.
How dare you?
Oh my gosh. I didn't entirely get I get the appeal of the character. Like, he's a big monster character, like huge slimy tongue, big teeth, and Spider-Man powers.
Right.
But,
well, more than just Spider-Man powers, right?
Well, yeah, well, what else does he have?
Well, he's just, like, super cunning and, like, he, like, has super strength and can jump really high. Spider-Man can't jump really high. He has to use his little ropes.
Fair enough. I always thought of him as having more weaknesses because he's, like, very clearly weak to fire and sound, which is something, I mean, you saw Spider-Man 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how Spider-Man has the black costume for a while that becomes Venom, and the way he gets rid of it is he, like, goes to a church and plays, like, the big bell, like, really loud, so that the symbiote leaves him and then goes and meets up with Topher Grace, your buddy Topher Grace.
Yeah.
I didn't entirely get Venom until the Venom solo movie with Tom Hardy.
Yeah. And you really liked that one, didn't you?
I like it. I mean, Tom Hardy, I think, is maybe the finest actor of his generation.
Wow.
Unironically. He's a lot of fun to watch, and you keep doing it. I think the thing that really made it click for me was the way they would do the voice in the head.
Yeah.
Do you remember, like, we watched some special features on the 4K UHD?
Yeah.
About how they did that. Do you remember, like, the setup for that?
A little bit, but I remember that it was, like, actually in his head, right? They were actually playing what Venom was saying so that he was reacting to it.
Yeah, he would, like, record the voice for both himself and for the symbiote, and, you know, they would change it, but then, like, put it in his ear, so he would hear it on mic when he was recording his own lines, so he would have that true back and forth. And that was, like, so entertaining, and I was like, okay, I'm a bit more of a Venom fan now.
I kind of wish that they'd do that with Deadpool.
Oh, how so?
Well, because Deadpool has all those different personalities in his head, and that doesn't come clear in the movies. So I kind of wish that they would do that, like have Ryan Reynolds, that's who it is, right?
Right.
I'm really bad with names.
No, that's him.
Have him record those different voices, or even other people if they're other personalities, and have those play in his head so that he can react to them, just to add more layers to the Deadpool character.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, and it's funny you should say that, because actually in the Deadpool comic books, like going back 15 years or so, there was a scene where he gets, like, a literal knife through the head, and so it splits his brain to the point where he has, like, a multiple personality thing, and he starts hearing separate voices in his head because of that.
Right.
And they gave it, like, separate word balloon fonts so you know which voice was speaking.
Yeah. And they did that in the video game too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did do that. I forgot about that. It was in the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 version of the video game, which I played a little late, but it was fun.
I think it'd be really fun to have a Venom video game.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I'm sure he's been, like, in some of the Spider-Man video games as, like, a boss fight.
Yeah.
But I don't know that he's ever gotten a proper video game. You know, when they released the movie, that would have been a good time for that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure there'll be
You
a
blew it, PlayStation. You blew it.
And, well, especially Sony, because Sony makes the movies and the video games.
Yeah.
They need more cross-promotion.
Right.
I don't even think, in that Spider-Man video game I played, I don't think Venom was even in that. Maybe
Sony, call me.
Call Alana. She's got ideas.
I think that it would be cool to see Venom evolve again into like maybe a good guy where he helps out the good guys, because in the movie you see that he clearly does have a conscience on things, and he wanted to make sure that his being that he was in, Tom Hardy, was safe, was okay, and it went a little farther than just the survival thing, because he could have left his body and gone anywhere. But I think that would be a really cool like character change for him.
Absolutely, and they've been trying to walk that line of anti-hero since the 90s. But again, going back to the voices in the head, sometimes he's compelled to do things that are socially irresponsible. Or, well, going back to the comic that came out this week, Absolute Carnage, there's a point where there's someone on a subway train tracks and like Venom's got to save him. So how does he save him? In the most socially irresponsible way possible, he stops the train, which is, causes a lot more damage, probably hurts people on the train. Would have been safer, easier maybe to just grab the person off the tracks.
But then he puts himself in danger. It doesn't need to happen.
But going back for a second to some of the people that were involved in creating him, his first couple appearances, the writer was David Michelinie, who we've met.
Oh, okay. I
and
remember that.
Todd McFarlane,
yes,
who we've met
I've
a couple times.
met him a few times.
And David Michelinie, I don't know if this will jog your memory, he also is responsible for creating Scott Lang, the Paul Rudd version of Ant-Man.
Okay.
But we met him, and him and Todd were actually at the same convention one time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So who else?
Who else is involved?
Yeah.
Well, for Venom, also Jim Shooter, because Jim Shooter was the guy that wrote Secret Wars, which was when the costume itself, the black costume, first appeared. But I think the original idea was based on a fan letter. Like someone wrote in and had an idea, and then Jim Shooter sent them like a check for $50 or $100 or $250 or something and said, "We're going to use this idea, thank you." Which is nice. I mean, fairly responsible business-wise.
Right.
And then later on, when Carnage appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 361, that was David Michelinie again, but the new artist Mark Bagley, who I met. You were at the convention, but I'm not sure you were there when I talked to him. And Randy Amberlin, the inker, who we met in Texas at a convention.
Right.
And you remember that guy?
I do.
Very friendly guy, selling some cool prints. But like I said, the symbiotes, there's a lot of people responsible for not just creating them, but making them popular, because there were so many people doing the stories. And like I said, it took Tom Hardy for me to really, really start caring about the character.
And so Venom's not the only symbiote in this universe.
That's right. There's Carnage, and it's like, I think the story that they use for that now is that every time a symbiote like changes host, they leave like a spark of symbiote juice or whatever behind, and it makes like a new symbiote.
Okay.
But then also, this wasn't the original idea, maybe, but by the mid-90s they had changed it to they were aliens from another planet, the planet of the symbiotes, and there were all these different versions. There was like Shriek and Mayhem and Carnage and Venom.
Oh, Mayhem was in the movie, right?
Yeah, I think that might have been like the big gray main villain symbiote. But it really was, I think by that point, just, there's too much. It was like saturation. It was complete global saturation of the idea of symbiotes.
Yeah, well, the movie was kind of true to that. It seemed like Venom knew the other ones and that they were like soldiers or something on the planet that they were from.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool.
Absolutely. Well, we're running out of time for this video, so hopefully we've said everything we wanted to say about these characters. As always, if people enjoyed this video, what can they do, honey?
You can like this video and let us know why you like it in the comments below, and also subscribe so that you can get updates on when we put new content out.
Yeah, and if you're an artist yourself, I always say you got to draw every day. If you want to get better, you got to keep drawing. So until next time, keep drawing. See ya.